Good morning, children. Welcome to the online class. Today we are going to see the lesson from civics part. Already the last class I gave the homework to learn the first lesson, all the answers. You have to prepare for the test. I think you are preparing for the test. I revised all the answers once, so you have to learn all those answers. Today we are going to see the third chapter. Second chapter also I have completed and gave the answers. Now we are going to see the third chapter from civics part, that is human rights. We are all human beings. We are enjoying rights. That is human rights. Human rights. Our country, India, got independence, freedom, that is August 15, 1947. Before that, our country was under the rule of British, They were ruling our country India about 200 years. 200 years they were ruling. During their rule, Indians suffered under the hands of the British because they were treating us as their slaves. They did not give any freedom. Freedom means rights. What are the rights human beings should enjoy? That rights were denied during their rule. During their rule, the rights were denied. Some of the rights, especially political, social, cultural life of the people, were denied. They did not give any rights, political rights or social rights, economic rights or cultural rights, any other rights they did not give to the Indians because they were treated as their slaves. Under their rule, we were suffering. We did not enjoy any freedom. After the independence, we have got our own constitution. It is one of the lengthiest constitution, written constitution. The constitution mentions some of the rights to the people. The basic rights were mentioned in the constitution, that is fundamental rights. Here mentioned the six fundamental rights. One of the first and foremost right, that is right to equality. People of India must be treated as equal. So it is given as an important fundamental rights. No equality in the society. Before independence, even after the independence, also the equality was not there in the Indian society. So it is mentioned in the constitution, right to equality. That is very, very important. It is very, very important of human beings. Important for human beings. So it is mentioned. Some other fundamental rights also mentioned that we will see later. Now we see that the social, economic, cultural rights of the citizens. Social rights necessary for full participation in the society. One who take part fully in the society means he has to enjoy the social rights. Even economic rights able to meet the needs of the people of a country. So economic rights also important for the human beings in a country. And cultural rights to enjoy the culture of the society, of the country. Culture in the sense language, religion, dress style, all that will come under the cultural rights. That cultural right also must enjoyed by one in a country. So this is important for the development of human beings, development of a country. So after independence, now we are enjoying all these rights. We can study as much as possible. We can practice any religion, any job we can prefer. Like this, so many rights we are enjoying after independence, because all these mentioned in the constitution. Any one of these rights denied, we can approach the court to get the right. Like this, the constitution mentioned the fundamental rights of the citizen in India. Like this, some other countries, especially Africa, South Africa, that there also the rights of the citizens were denied because of the foreign rule. There also the British domination was there that time. That is about 19th and 20th century. There are British people made colonies over Africa. Africa in the sense South Africa. They were practiced the racial discrimination. The native people were black. The minority people who came from British and made colony in Africa, though they were minority, they were suppressed. They suppressed the majority African people because of the color. That method they followed, that is called apartheid. That is racial discrimination because of the color. That is known as racial discrimination. The racial discrimination based on color is known as apartheid. The policy was followed in South Africa, that is called apartheid policy. The time, that is the year 1893, Gandhiji was there in South Africa. One day he wanted to travel from Pretoria. He got the ticket and traveling in a train. That time one of the British forced Gandhiji to travel the last compartment. That is van compartment at the end of the train. That was not a reserved compartment. This is not a first class compartment. He got the ticket for the first class compartment. He was traveling the first class compartment, but the British, one of the white man, forced Gandhiji to move the last compartment, but he refused. He asked, I have the first class train ticket, why I should move for the last compartment? Like that he did not move. But he forced Gandhiji to get down from the train, so that he pushed him down. He got down at last. So he felt bad. That is one night time. The whole night he was staying that nearby railway station and thinking about that incident. From that day he decided to fight for this incident. He fought in South Africa. That method he followed to fight against this racial discrimination, that was known as Satyagraha. Collecting the mass, that is non-violent method he followed to fight against this racial discrimination in South Africa. Then he came to India. The same method was practiced in India, that is non-violence method, Satyagraha method. That method followed in India, collecting the people for the mass movement to fight against this injustice, against these British people. That is Satyagraha method he followed. In Africa, one of the leader, he also fought against this racial discrimination. His name was Nelson Mandela. The people of South Africa protest against this racial discrimination under the leadership of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela raised the voice against this apartheid. He gathered many people and organized that protest. He organized the protest against this apartheid policy. At last, that agitation became very severe, because that once Nelson Mandela was imprisoned and put into the jail. Because of this incident, the ruler of South Africa, the president of South Africa, F.W. de Klerk, worried and released at last this Nelson Mandela from jail. Because of this effort taken by this Nelson Mandela and de Klerk, the apartheid policy was put an end in Africa. Then at the end of this apartheid policy, the election was held. In that election, Mandela's African National Congress Party won in the election. He became the president of South Africa. Nelson Mandela became the president of South Africa. After becoming president of South Africa, that totally the racial discrimination, that is apartheid policy, was abolished from South Africa. Like this, many countries, there was injustice, there was discrimination, social discrimination, political discrimination existed those times. To stop this incident, this injustice, the international organization was set up. After the end of the Second World War, the Second World War came to an end in the year 1945. At the end of the Second World War, one international organization was set up, that is known as UNO, United Nations Organization. The United Nations Organization set up to maintain peace, maintain international peace. That UNO, the World Organization, was set up. That UNO was set up October 24th, 1945. So the October 24th is celebrated every year as UNO Day. UNO Day is celebrated every year October 24th. The UNO defines, gives the definition of human rights. What is human rights? The definition of UNO is mentioned here: the right inherent to all human beings, regardless of race, gender, nationality, ethnicity, language, religion, or any other status. is known as human rights. This is the definition given by the UNO. The UNO has different organs in different countries of Europe. One of the organs of UNO is UNO General Assembly located in Paris. The UNO General Assembly passed a declaration, that is Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that is in the year 1948, December 10th, 1948, the General Assembly of UNO passed an act called Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, drafted by representatives with different legal and cultural backgrounds from all regions of the world. All regions of the world representatives represented in the General Assembly. It is also called World Parliament because member countries of different members of different nations took part in this General Assembly. It is a World Parliament. They have in that General Assembly they have drafted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights to protect the rights of the people of world countries. That is Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The declaration proclaimed by United Nations General Assembly in Paris on 10th December 1948. The General Assembly Resolution 271A, Common Standard of Achievement of all people and all nations. These human rights must be achieved by all the people in all the nations. That was the aim of this Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights guarantees freedom of expression as well as civil, political, social, economic and cultural rights. What is freedom of expression? People of a country must express their feelings. They have to express, they have to say their feelings, what is inherited, what are the problems in their minds, they have to express. Before that, no right was given to express their feelings. Totally we can say no right given to speak, denial of speech. There was denial of speech. People are not allowed to say their problems. That is, no freedom of expression was given. Now this Universal Declaration of Human Rights given the right to express, freedom of expression, as well as civil, political, social, economic and cultural rights. This Universal Declaration of Human Rights gave the right to the people to the political, economic, social and cultural rights to the people of the world countries. These rights apply to all people irrespective of that race, gender, nationality. All people are born free and equal. There should be no discrimination to any one of the people in the country. All must be treated as equal. That was the aim of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was passed in the General Assembly of UNO in Paris in the year December 10, 1948. That day is celebrated as the day of the Universal Declaration, Universal Human Rights Day. That day is celebrated as Human Rights Day. Is celebrated every year 10th December. From that Universal Declaration of Human Rights, all world countries, which are the countries member of this know that country people got the human rights. So it is celebrated as the Human Rights Day every year 10th December. So the social, and cultural rights of the people is very important. Very important. When our country India was under the rule of British, the people of our country India did not enjoy all these rights, political, social, cultural, economic rights of the people. Now we have got independence, we have got freedom, we are enjoying all these rights. That rights also mentioned in the Constitution. It is one of the fundamental rights of the people. No one can violate the fundamental rights of the citizen of India. If any one of the citizens feels that the fundamental rights is denied, the person can approach the court to get that rights. The social rights are necessary for full participation in the country. They can freely move, freely talk. If this social right is denied, people cannot talk freely, move freely, enjoy anything. So it is very important. Then economic rights guarantees that every person to have the conditions under which they are able to meet their needs. So the economic rights is very important to meet the needs of the people. Should not give any restriction the economic rights of the people. Now we are having certain restrictions in the economic activities, so we find it difficult to meet our economic needs, daily needs. So that rights little restricted, so we find difficult to meet our needs. So economic rights also very important to the human beings. Then next one is cultural rights. Cultural rights are human rights that aim at assuring the enjoyment of culture, cultural life, music, dance, language, development of language. These are all important for human beings. That also must be given to the human beings. That right is known as cultural rights. That is known as cultural rights. Civil and political rights. Civil and political rights protect an individual freedom from infringement by the government. Social organizations and private individuals, these rights ensure one's ability to participate in the civil and political life of society and state. Civil and political life of the people in the state, they have to get the right to take part in the political and social life of the people. The civil rights refers to the basic rights offered by laws of government. So these are all the rights must be given to the individual of a country. So this should not be denied. Should not be denied. So today we have seen This chapter from page number 253 to 255, the human rights. I have taught this lesson. I have not given the answers because you have to learn for the test. So I have not marked any question from this topic today. Next time I will mark these answers. So you can study for the test.